It was a chilly Tuesday late afternoon when I arrived at the Salem Police Department 5 minutes prior to my ride-along with the police officer. The ride-along was scheduled at 8 p.m., lasting 3 to 4 hours. The police department is located in City Hall in downtown Salem. The department is a giant gray, brutalist building that felt like something out of a novel. I only knew where the police department was located due to a small door with a blue neon sign which simply read police. I walk through the door and give my name to the people standing behind the desk. They tell me to have a seat, and then they'll grab an officer. I sat in a line of blue chairs looking into the records section of the police station in a tiny lobby plastered with posters of wanted signs and other information. At exactly 8 p.m., an officer brought me back to the briefing room where the police officers received their orders for the night. At this moment, I am a little intimidated by the laughter, the codes, the nicknames, the jargon, but I try to get as comfortable as I can. The police officers that brought me to the back room said that the officer who I would be riding with was in the room but didn't point them out. Nobody acknowledged me in the room, nobody looked at me or seemed to be paying much attention to the fact I was even there. After the officer giving directions had finished talking, he took a piece of paper from under a small stack of court orders, wanted posters, and memos, and called me by my full name. He said that I would be riding with him that night. The tag on his shirt read Basket. Once Corporal Basket was done with his training, he told me we were ready to go. I looked at the clock and it said 8:45. He grabbed a small laptop bag, some granola bars, and a bottle of water, and we started walking out to a garage full of police cars. I finally got a good look at Corporal Basket, the tall, hat-wearing, foul-mouthed, no-bullshit cop he was. And with the gas tank half full, we rode out. As we walked out to the garage and found our patrol car, Corporal Basket got all of his stuff in the car, checked the lights, checked the siren, and checked to make sure everything else was functioning properly. As soon as that happened, we turned on the computer and made sure that our program was running and got signed on. The first thing that happened as soon as we exited the garage is we saw a patrol car speed past us with the lights and siren on. Corporal Basket took this as a cue to do the same, and we entered a high-speed response to a call we had just received over the radio. There seemed to be a dispute nearby, and he is one of the closest units in the area. We pulled into the neighborhood, and after a couple minutes of frantically looking for anything, he radioed that there was enough units on scene, and Corporal Basket turned off the lights and siren and got back on the highway. The night was filled with various traffic stops and small chases, which felt like they lasted forever. However, when I looked at the computer screen inside the patrol car, nearly 5 minutes had passed by. Corporal Basket went through the motions and had complete control of the situations, despite being completely unrelated. Every speeding, suspended license, or reckless driving was treated with a cool, collected manner that could only be attained with so many years on the force. It was about 1:20 p.m. when we parked next to an underpass to observe traffic, with the lights off. Although Corporal Basket was sitting mostly still, he looked like he was on high alert, twisting his neck to the rhythm and direction of the traffic. I typed up a few questions, and I figured now would be the time to ask them. The questions started out very simple. How long have you been in the force? He responded, 21 years. When I asked him what made him want to be a police officer, he chuckled a little, and then responded that he didn't really have a plan to become a police officer. He told me he went on a ride along New Year's Eve, and it made sense to him. He joined the force shortly after. The topic of the dangers of being a police officer came up. He elaborated by saying the worst thing you'll have to fear is the unknown. I asked him if he was afraid of the unknown, and he simply said, not really. He started speaking about officers who view themselves as superheroes and think that they put their life on the line every day and every night. He retorted by calling that bullshit. Throughout the night, it became apparent that the life of a police officer is nothing like the media would have you believe. The high speed and the bright lights and the sirens quickly fade away and replaced by paperwork disgruntled by people expecting you to be the calmest person on the planet. A regular speeding ticket can take about 10 minutes to fill out, and that's not counting the gathering of information and the information to the person who is pulled over. It is definitely not the high-octane, action-filled lifestyle movies and TV shows show you. The fact that this is just the job to them, I tried going to this with no expectations of scenes of drug bust, armed robberies, and high-speed chases that were playing in the back of my mind, but that quickly faded after the first ticket. This was even more evident when we pulled over a woman driving with suspended license. This was around 11 p.m., and I could already feel the drag of the job loom over me. Corporal Basket had to call in a tow truck to take the car due to it being parked in lane of traffic, and nobody was allowed to drive the vehicle. We spent the next 2 hours parked until all the information was processed and the tow truck came. The time spent there felt like endless. Everything seemed to move slower and my patience was running out. Even Corporal Basket was visually annoyed at the situation. The night came to an end with one last call. A house dispute between the residents of adult foster care in a home and a worker. According to the worker, he had been threatening her with a knife and being belligerent. We arrived at the scene and immediately Corporal Basket comes out and starts talking to the key people. After half an hour of just waiting in the car, Corporal Basket comes to my window and asks if I'd like to come into the house with him. I hesitantly agreed to go. The man was obviously inebriated and not all there. After much bickering with Corporal Basket, we ended up talking to the manager and the worker about everything, the necessary precautions when he acts up. The entire time, Corporal Basket kept a very cool demeanor. He was in charge of the situation, and as soon as he stepped foot in the house. After an hour of being in the house and talking to everyone, we finally left. The ride-along was supposed to last 3 to 4 hours, but we were nearing our 6th hour together. Corporal Basket took notice of this and decided to drive me back to the station. It was 1:45 a.m. when he pulled into the station, and I informed him that was everything I needed for now, and he said a couple of parting words. He said, it's, quote, not just about arresting people, we are here for the public.